I see you grinding. I see you grinding, hungry, investing time into yourself, learning how to trade, working towards obtaining financial freedom. You sign up for a funded account with the goal to not only obtain a funded account, but get your first payout and build a sustainable source of income. But out of everyone that does a combine through Top Step, only 12.5% actually make it to the funding stage. 12.5%. That's almost just a little better than 1 out of every 10, right? And so now here's the pivot. Those that actually trade the combine and commit themselves to it, that number goes from 12.5% up to 46% of traders actually make it to the funded stage. So nearly half of traders that actually show up and commit to it, they actually get funded. And so when I say get funded, I'm not talking about actually receiving a payout, because I'm going to touch on that here in a second. What I'm referring to here is from the combine stage, you have the challenges you need to pass in order to get a funded account that then allows you to trade that funded account to receive your first payouts. And so here comes the hard truth. And when I saw these numbers, it wasn't surprising, but it was somewhat mind-boggling, just because I know there's a very few amount of people that build trading as a sustainable source of income, whether that's going the live route or going the funded route. But here's the truth. Only 28% actually receive their first payout. So that's roughly 1 out of every 8 traders that make it to the funded stage even receive 1 payout. And so a question I would ask is why? Why is that the case? Why are those numbers so slim, to be honest with you? If nearly half of people can go from the challenge and passing the challenge to actually receiving the funding to then give themselves the opportunity to trade a funded account to receive payouts, why is it so small? So that's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to give you 3 mistakes that I've identified that separates the 54% of people who didn't even pass the initial challenge to the 46% of people who actually got funded. But then why the 46% of people that actually got funded, only 28% actually get their first payout. So that leaves 72% of people who get to the funded account stage do not receive a payout. So it doesn't matter what trading pool you're in. If you're a part of the 88% of people who start a trading combine and never even commit yourselves to it, or if you're part of the 52% of people that never even make it to the funding stage, or you could even be part of the 78% of people that pass the challenge, make it to the funding stage, but never even receive your first payout. This is for all of you, because the same mistakes sabotage traders at every single stage. And the difference between traders who just touch funding and those that build a repeatable income stream often comes down to fixing these 3 things today. So let's get into it. And so here's the first killer: not having a repeatable risk management system. I'm not talking about your execution, how you enter, how you exit. I'm talking about your plan to protect your capital. And here I'm not talking about entry setups or exit strategies. I'm talking about a concrete plan for how you plan to protect your capital every single day. Too many traders wing it on position sizing, daily loss limits, or how to respond after a few losing trades, especially when it comes to these trading challenges where the maximum loss limit is tight. This isn't something that's optional or just about surviving. It's about thriving under the pressure. So whether you're trying to pass the initial challenge, or you got funded and now you're blowing it fast, or if you're trying to cash out for a second time and third and fourth, the data Top Step provides really proves what we need to do. A large chunk of funded traders blow their account off of 1 big losing day. And most of those traders had winning days, but no plan to size down on their positions or just stop when the losses started to stack. This is not just about the skill of trading. It's about simple math and discipline, which is something that we talk about every single day in our community. And this is why personal development is so important. Q just did a video the other day. I would encourage you to go watch it. And I'll even link it to this video here. But he just talked about how important discipline is and being disciplined, and how that holds traders back, because you can't lack discipline in your daily life and then all of a sudden flip a switch when you get on the charts. It just doesn't work like that. And so we touched on the what when it comes to the lack of having a repeatable risk management system. You know, I just talked to you about the why this happens to most traders. And so how do we fix it? Pick a daily loss limit. For me, I'm willing to risk anywhere from 1 to 2% of my entire funded account in a single trading day. Now that means if I want to take more than one position, then I probably shouldn't put all of my eggs in one basket on one trade, because if I lose that trade, now I don't have the ability to take another decision if I want to, because I would be going against my plan. And now if I chase another trade, now I'm going against my plan and I'm acting completely outside of my risk management system. So pick a daily loss limit, whether it's a dollar amount or whether it's a percentage amount. Pick something and stick to it. You can always refine it down the line, but if you don't build up enough data to see, is this working for me or is this not working for me, you really have nothing to go off of when you are refining it. So number one, pick a daily loss limit. Number two is set a maximum amount you will risk on each trade. And so if you have a $50,000 funded account, which is what I started with, then if you risk 1% of that funded account on each trade, you're risking about $500. I think for Top Step, for the $50,000 account, if I'm not mistaken, is $2,000. So if you think about it, if you're risking $500 and that's your limit on each trade, then you can only sustain 4 losing trades in a row before you've hit that maximum loss limit. So you have to keep those in mind. It's not just about how much capital do I have access to, but how many losing trades can my account sustain before I blow my funded account. And so the rule of thumb for me, when I first started my $50,000 account, I was comfortable risking $200 per trade. And I would stop after I lose 2 trades, right? So I stay under that threshold of $500, but I'm also able to take 2 positions if I need to. And so going over it again, number one, set a daily loss limit. And number two, set how much money you'll risk per trade. And once again, whether that's a dollar amount or whether that's a percentage amount, find what works for you and something you can stick to get enough data to see, is this working or do I need to refine something? Because lessons are a part of it. It's not something you're going to just figure out the first time around, but you will be able to pull things that are working, those things you can continue, and then you'll be able to remove the things that aren't working and plug in something else that may fit better within that system. And then the last one, and this is a big one, and it's something that traders have a hard time doing, especially when we are trading our funded accounts and passing challenges and getting that first and second payout. It's stepping away from the chart. It's knowing when to stop trading that day. So write down a rule of when you're gonna shut it down for the day. For me, when I lose 2 trades, I'm done for the day. And if I lose 1 trade, then I'm gonna downsize on that next trade so that I'm not breaching my threshold of my daily loss limit. And it's okay, even if you lose 1 trade, to just shut it down for the day. There's no need to force it. This is not about perfection. This is about us building a system that we can repeat tomorrow and the day after that and next week of trading. And this is where our philosophy shows up: volume times time. As long as when we're doing the action, the volume in a certain way, the time will take care of the outcome itself. But again, we have to be doing the volume in a certain way. And the same rules apply even with your risk management system. So the number one thing to avoid is have a repeatable system for your risk management. And the second mistake that I've identified for what holds most funded traders back is the draining of your mental capital. And so you might be thinking, what is mental capital, Marcus? Look at it as your emotional battery. It's what lets you stay patient through a slow and choppy market or walk away after a losing day. And it's what keeps you from revenge trading or making decisions off of, you just purely panicking. And here's the secret when it comes to trading challenges and these funded accounts. They're not just testing your trading skills and your system for execution when it comes to entries and exits. They're testing your ability to keep your mental capital intact. And if we're being honest, this is what these companies rely on us as traders failing to do, because they're aware of the psychology that goes on when we're trading these markets. And so now we're gonna get into the why based on the pool of people you're in that we talked about at the beginning of the video. The mental fatigue, the draining of your mental capital, your emotional battery, is what makes you break the combine rules. If you're in that second pool of people, this is what causes you to just spiral after just one small funded loss. And this is what affects those traders who blow their entire account after receiving that first payout. I was one of them. I've seen traders with really solid strategies just get burned out because they're drained from those emotional swings. And here I'm referring to our mental capital, our emotional battery. Your mental state controls your decisions more than any charts ever could. And so how today can you start protecting your mental capital? Create a mental stop loss. Decide how many losing trades or how many dollars you can tolerate before you stop trading for the day. And it's different for everyone. How many losing trades I can tolerate is different than how many losing trades you can tolerate. How many dollars I'm willing to tolerate before I shut it down is different than how many dollars you're willing to tolerate before you shut it down. But the point is, find what works for you, because you know yourself better than anyone. You know the account balance for your mental capital. You know the capacity for your emotional battery. And that doesn't mean it's always going to stay where it is now. As you develop, as you get more comfortable with risk, that can go up. And now the account balance for your mental capital is greater than where you started. And your emotional battery has a greater capacity. So number one, create that mental stop loss for yourself. Number two, have something you do to reset. Step away from the charts for 30 minutes. I like to walk outside and just breathe in the fresh air. But you have to be comfortable with taking those moments to step away. Instead of just spending your mental capital, draining your emotional battery, just staring at the charts. So number one, set that mental stop loss for yourself. Number two, have something you do to where you can just reset. And this last one is something I'm actually adopting as I move into the new trading week, is to journal. And start with a paragraph or a page of what triggered your stress. Why'd you revenge trade? What caused that? What influenced your urges to overtrade? The goal is to just gain clarity so that you can make tomorrow better. And then tomorrow comes, you journal again, and then you gain more clarity for the next day. And then once again, volume times time, it just builds up to produce the person and the outcomes that we desire the most. So remember this. Protecting your mind, protecting your mental capital and your emotional battery is just as important as protecting your account, your monetary capital. So I said I'd give you 3 mistakes to fix today. The first one was not having a repeatable risk management strategy, if we get that in order. Number 2 was protecting our mental capital and our emotional battery. And this last one, which I don't think gets talked about enough, maybe just because people are afraid to admit it, it's being so money hungry instead of being driven by the process. It's staring at your profit target instead of just focusing on your execution. And so let's say hypothetically, to pass the initial challenge to get to the funded stage is $4,000. And right now you're $3,000 in profit. And now you're just like, man, if I can just get $1,000 trade on this next trade, I'm going to get my funded account. So you're hyper focusing on what you need to get to the funded account instead of just following your system. Now, does that mean that following your system can't result in $1,000 trade? No, that's not what that means. But most of the time we act outside of our system because we're chasing the money. And I get it. Trust me, I was one of those people dreaming about that first funded payout, right? Cashing that $2,000 check, that $5,000 check, that $10,000 check. But that mindset flips from being process driven to just emotionally chasing the money. And the data backs it up to prove everything I'm saying. Only 28% of traders ever even cash out once. Now, TopStep doesn't publish how many traders get multiple payouts, but there's plenty of trading stories that show that most blow up their entire account by over trading, thinking they're just one big win away. It just doesn't work that way. Can it work for some people? Yes. Is it sustainable? Absolutely not. Like I said earlier, we want to build a repeatable income stream, not just these one offs. And so, what I want you to take away from this section is the more you chase the money, the less you stick to your plan. So, now that we've identified the problem, how do we fix it? Shift your goal from money and trying to hit a certain profit target to just purely execution. You might even write something down like this: my goal is to trade my plan perfectly, not to hit $500 today. Just that simple reminder goes a long way, so that when you're in the moment and your previous mindset, the previous code that you already have programmed within the way that you approach the charts, when that tries to kick in, you simply override that code with, no, I'm not trying to hit a particular dollar amount. Am I trading my plan perfectly? As long as you're trading your plan perfectly, you're trading in a certain way every single time, once again, our VXT philosophy will kick in. The more you do that, the more you have the volume in trading your plan perfectly over the course of time, you're going to hit your goals and probably even surpass the initial goals that you thought were attainable. So the second thing we can do to fix this, plan your withdrawals logically. There's no need to empty your account back to its baseline every single payout. Keep enough cushion in your account to survive those losing days, because eventually it's undefeated and eventually you will have a losing day. Now, of course, we want to limit how many losing days there are, but if we just completely neglect the fact that losing days are inevitable, we are setting ourselves up to be in that pool of people who have never received a payout, or the pool of people who blew their account after their first payout. And what's the objective here? To build a sustainable income stream. And so we have to approach it logically to do so. It makes me think of Mark Douglas. Every time I think of losses being inevitable, I think of Mark Douglas, because he always speaks to thinking in probabilities. And no matter how great your edge may be, you are going to encounter losing days. So what plan do you have in place when those losing days do come? So start by shifting your goal from, I'm trying to hit $500 a day, I'm trying to hit $250 a day, I'm trying to hit $1,000 a day, to just purely execution. And then within that, plan your withdrawals logically to be able to sustain those losing days. And last but surely not least, focus on one day at a time. Just think of a staircase. Step by step will get you to the top. If you try to skip steps, you're bound to fall. And once again, I have to bring it up every time I can. If you trade well today, the payouts will come. How do we know they will come? VXT. The more we do the volume in a certain way, every single day, time will take care of itself. It's so beautiful. It's a principle. It's just a way of life. It's just how it works. You know, you hear the terms all the time. Rome wasn't built in a day. There's no such thing as an overnight success. All the cliches that are cliches for a reason, they show up in every successful person, no matter what venture that person may be going through. So let's think about it like this. If you focus on it this way, say your profit target's $3,000 in order to get your first payout, right? And you're like, okay, if I just make $500 over the next 6 trading days, I'll hit my target. Now you're so focused on hitting a particular dollar amount because you're already looking at what it's going to look like 6 trading days from now. So what could that do? That could prevent you from making more than $500 a day. And it can also impact you negatively because you're so focused on making $500 a day when that trading day is coming to a close and you maybe haven't taken a trade, or you're in a $200 drawdown. Now you're forcing trades. Now you're over leveraging. Now you're revenge trading. And now you're just spiraling to be a part of the pool of people who never even was able to receive a payout, or the pool of people who got one payout and then couldn't get a second or third or fourth. And so take one day at a time, take it step by step, brick by brick. And by the time you're done laying bricks, you'll build your castle. Whenever I think about stuff like this, it makes me think of a farmer. And when a farmer plants a seed, you don't think that farmer would love to just plant the seed and the next day bear a ton of fruit and have an entire field of fruit and vegetables? I mean, I'm sure they would, but they understand the process. They understand if they just nurture their garden and nurture their seeds every single day in a particular way, that eventually harvest season is gonna come. And so that's my challenge for you. Don't force harvest season. Just make sure that you're approaching every single trading day in a way that makes your harvest season inevitable. But remember, we can't rush the seasons. We can't skip steps. We just have to apply the volume, and within that volume, doing it in a certain way, and allow the multiplication of time to produce our most desired outcome. So as we conclude, there's an acronym I'm gonna leave you with. And no, I know what you're thinking. It's not VXT, even though that's a good one. It's POP. Process over profits. Every single day, every single trade, every single trading session, think POP. Process over profits. When you're back testing, think POP. Process over profits. When you're reviewing your trade log, think POP. Process over profits. Am I following my process? Am I following my process? Or am I money hungry? Am I seeking the dollars? And be honest with yourself. Remember what I said. Only you know yourself better than anyone. If you want to take shortcuts, if you want to cheat the system, then you can only be mad at yourself when you're not bearing the fruit. This is how traders stay funded and keep getting paid. So I really hope this video helped you. Whether you're trying to pass a combine, you're funded for the first time, or you've already cashed that first payout. These 3 shifts can change your path completely in the next 24 hours by simply building a repeatable risk management system. Guarding your mental capital, protecting your emotional battery like it's your account balance, and trading the process, not just your P&L. That's how you go from just being funded once to a trader that gets paid again and again. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Share this video with someone you know that could benefit from it. And drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 3 do you need to lock in first? Let's get more traders funded and stay funded. That then builds this into a repeatable income stream and gets us one step closer to obtaining time and financial freedom. I'll see you in the next video.